Peace, everyone. This is A Marvelous. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me. Today, we're going to be going over pretty much the introduction to a series of videos that I'm going to be doing, primarily on The Good Wife. I chose The Good Wife because, first watching it, I didn't know what to expect. One of my close friends were recommending me to watch it, but just the title alone, I was being a little, I was discriminating against it. But watching it, I found myself getting more into it, and I realized that show covers a lot of issues that I think the average American, or even person that has become an American living in this country, can actually benefit from, just by the different topics that it covers and the issues that it addresses, primarily when it comes to relationships, the law, and politics, which is pretty much the backbone of America. So I decided that the best way to pretty much cover the topics that the show covers, as well as kind of give a more understanding of what I think the show has to offer, is to go through each episode and kind of address it to the current landscape of what's going on in this country. So this is just a brief overview of The Good Wife and the series as a whole. The primary theme of the series is, it chronicles and follows the life of a woman that has been married to a politician, and the politician has cheated on her. And the whole show kind of chronicles her development from that point forth. And I think that's very important. If you look at my prior video dealing with Hillary Clinton and how women will be used as the face of evil, you will see that women will be the primary focal point for many issues that are driving this country. Just like Barack was used as a black face to kind of be the mask for all the issues in this country, women will do so also. They will be used by the media, in politics, the power structure, and even in our everyday lives. Women will be the leaders of many things. So pretty much you want to follow where the course of things are going, you have to follow what women are doing. And I think The Good Wife was one of those shows, one of the few shows, now there's more, like Madam Secretary and a few others, that are actually covering the rise of women in America. And these shows will be good teaching tools if you pay attention, to see how even in your everyday life, my everyday life, our everyday life, we can actually use some of these clues to actually enhance our life for the better, as opposed to just being passerbys. We can actually use shows like this to actually improve our life by looking at what the shows are telling us. And I know a lot of people are saying, excuse me, that this is just television. But one thing about any time something is created within the country and it becomes the dominant means of expression, or a dominant means of expression, that means that it represents the collective conscience and unconscious of the masses of people. And Hollywood is one of those things that represent the collective unconscious of its citizens in America. It also represents our underlying and even overlying passions, thoughts, emotions, feelings, and impulses. So these aren't just movies, these aren't just television shows. These are creations through a medium that are created by real people that live in this country, that are affected by the same things that we are. So they're coming from the minds and imaginations of people. And when they deal with these overall issues that affect everyone in the country, it no longer becomes something that's to the individual or that's just fiction. It now represents a play of sorts of what's real, but delivered through a medium in which we can still be removed from. So if it becomes too impactful, we can disconnect from it to where we can say that it's not a real thing when it is. Anytime you have lots of attention being given to something, whether it be religion, whether it be an event, or whether it be TV or movies, there's something in those expressions that captures the hearts and minds of people. So the more people that pay attention to something, you have to look at why that is, and it's not something to be glossed over. So frequently you'll hear me or see me refer to this book. It's called The Signs of the Times: Unlocking the Symbolic Language to World Events by Ray Grassi. And I'm going to use that book as a reference to kind of remove the view that these things are just movies, these things are just TV shows. Because in the book, he addresses time frames within America and the rise of cinema and also astrology to kind of parallel the different creations that's come from delivering medium through an electronic means. So this is the intro to The Good Wife, the series. I'm going to do my best to get through all 7 seasons, every episode, and each episode will be a different topic covering the status of America and show how, because the show covers real issues. It covers real court cases, real scenarios that have happened. So that in itself shows that it's a bridge of fiction and reality, because when you look at certain episodes, these are real things that are covered. You know, the whole premise of the show is showing how a wife deals with her husband who's a politician that cheats. And in the first episode review, I'm going to go over the different politicians that cheat. And I'm going to raise the question, can politicians, or looking at politicians, save your life in regards to your marriage and your relationships? And this is something that we have to look at, because the next 8 years, women and money will be the biggest themes in the media. I mean, some would say that's always the case, but they will become symbols now. When you follow, you want to make the money, you want to understand how the money's going to be operated in the next 4 to 8 years, then you're going to have to look at the women, because the media will definitely use the women to promote messages when it comes to the money. And money will be a big theme in the next 4 to 8 years based on different world events. And we can actually use TV and movies to kind of follow patterns and also real life events and kind of link these things. So The Good Wife is a show that uses the law, uses politics, and chronicles women's role in these areas to show how things are affected on a small level and on a big level. So stay tuned for the first season episode 1 review. The tentative title would be, Can Politics Save Your Marriage and Relationship? And I'm going to go over briefly episode 1 and season 1. So again, thank you for tuning in. And this is the intro to the series overview of The Good Wife. And any feedback, suggestions, please let me know. I will be happy to address, happy to engage. And I think as I get through each episode, I think it will address many subjects that are currently going on and that will go on and that have went on. Especially considering that cheating politicians tend to have wives that stick by them. So being that we have Beyonce and Lemonade, and that was a big rave review, that might be something that we need to look at in terms of keeping relationships together. What is the mindset of a woman that sticks by her man? What is the mindset of a man that cheats? And I think looking at The Good Wife will be a good intro to having these kind of conversations and dialogue, to where people can actually heal themselves instead of bickering and fighting, actually look at plausible solutions to a problem that's been going on forever. Might not be able to solve the problem, but looking at the temperature of this country you can actually bring things to the forefront in a way in which it's no longer taboo, and it'll probably be less fighting and more so integration or cooperation of finding some sort of agreed upon path to keeping relationships together. So, with that, this is the Good Wife series overview. Stay tuned for season 1, episode 1, a review of The Good Wife. And thank you for your time. Peace.